Johnny Somali. What's gonna happen to this guy? Ooh, this isn't fair. Wah, life's not fair. Alright, what's going on here?
This IRL streamer is now facing 36 years in Korean prison after spending the last 2 years of his life harassing and humiliating random people on the streets of Japan, Israel, and South Korea for his own content. Spending 3 months in jail in Japan, apologizing and saying, hey, he's never going to do this again, and then goes on to continue like nothing ever happened at all. And we've been covering his antics for a while, and it's already been a couple months since I went out to Korea for his first trial. And it's safe to say things have only got worse for him, all while he spent so much of his time taunting and essentially challenging the Korean court system to do something about it. Because Johnny streamed himself being interviewed after his stunt where he got drunk and danced in his underwear in the early morning of Seoul.
I did it as kind of like a you.
I feel like these people just don't have any mental help. That's pretty much it. He needs mental help.
To these YouTubers and the ones that are commenting on my downfall in Korea and how I'm gonna get, the years keep going up. First they said, oh, it's 5 years, now it's 10 years, now he's gonna get 20 years, now he's gonna get 30 years. So I was like, I'm gonna show you guys how far I can push the boundaries, and I'm gonna show you that the Korean government is not gonna do anything to me because I'm an American citizen A.
Just because you're an American citizen doesn't mean you can't get prosecuted inside of a country that you're staying at. That's kind of how the world works. I don't know, man.
And B, I don't do anything seriously violent or crime. The Korean legal system is not as strong as people think and perceive it to be.
I don't know if that's like a smart thing to say while you're on trial. Obviously, we've taken a little break from covering Johnny, but now so much has happened that I feel like we kind of need to update the situation. Because now you have charges that are essentially just dropping monthly to his only friend now threatening another channel that's also been covering Johnny's phone. I mean, this whole story just keeps on derailing like an extremely slow train wreck, which started as him trying to go viral, which turned into real crimes. He's harassed people on buses, blasted offensive messages, disrespectful cultural symbols.
You come into someone's house and you take a big fat dump all over its, like, the doorstep, say it. How is it not okay for me to, like, try and put you under arrest?
And, you know, just kept pushing things
I can't. Watching these clips gives me so much cringe, man.
Further and further. No matter how many times he got in trouble, he threatened judges, he made deepfake videos of other Korean streamers, then announced that he was going to go to court in a black version of a certain robe that involves a clan. And I'm not talking about Call of Duty trickshot clans either. I feel like so much of the stuff he does leaves me with the reaction of, why are you wasting your life doing this? What a fascinating use of...
Because he doesn't have a life, it's pretty easy.
Free will. But obviously he didn't fall through with this. All that did was just show the internet that Johnny is a little bit more scared of these consequences than what he's letting on. Even though he doesn't fall through with being a moron, that doesn't mean he's not a moron. Because now it seems like he's looking at 10 additional years of additional max sentence time on top of the previous 26 years of max sentence time that he was facing earlier. At the end of the day, Johnny's story is a perfect example of someone who let chasing clout completely ruin their lives and dragged others like Hank down with him. And Hank clearly...
They're in a relationship. Mark my words, it's gonna come out. They're in a bromance.
Not the sharpest tool in the shed, is now threatening another creator by the name of 15 Minutes of Shame, who's been very on top of covering this whole story. Here's a clip of Legal Mindset showing those messages.
But you see this individual, Adrius, is talking to Hank, sends over a video of...
Oh my god, they're communicating through Steam.
15 Minutes of Shame, and says, why is this guy keep pulling this up in his video? So he's talking about, you know, a video where Hank is mentioned. Hank the Tank says, 15 Minutes of Shame is absolutely obsessed with me. And the guy responds, yeah, saw that. He says, LMAO needs to be, and I'm just going to use the word deleted because I want to keep it YouTube friendly.
So for those of you guys who don't know, that comment is coming from Johnny Somali's so-called bodyguard, or legal advisor or translator. He's playing a lot of roles here, but this is Hank. And what Hank said there isn't just disturbing, it's completely self-destructive. While South Korean law probably isn't going to prosecute Hank for the international threat against someone who's most likely based in the US, the fallout could be harsh on other ways. Hank has already lost his gym membership after the gym found out about his association with Johnny. And that's crazy because Hank needs to stay in there. But honestly, I don't even know if that's a real punishment in Hank's head. But clearly, any online behavior like this could easily lead to further consequences. His desperation is clearly showing, as with every threat, he digs his hole deeper. And I feel like part of him actually knows this because he recently also deleted all of his social media, which includes all content on his YouTube channel. And this channel used to be Johnny's only main outlet left to live stream on, and now it's been wiped.
I thought he got perma-banned because he got perma-banned off of YouTube for endangering people and like being horrible. Not because he's fat. That completely went over my head. I've seen too many fat jokes.
For those of you guys who don't know, for months, Hank was Johnny's enabler, providing him with housing, a phone, streaming equipment, booze, and money to keep this nuisance train rolling. Because while Johnny's funds dried up, Hank kept the operation alive, becoming his sole support system. But now, the weight of that decision is really crashing down on him. This isn't just about embarrassment or damage anymore.
Can't he just be held complicit when they start doing the actual trial at this point? Like, you're an enabler, you're giving him money, you could have stopped at any point. I feel like he's at least half as guilty.
Hank's closeness to Johnny's latest legal trouble has placed him in the crossfire. If you remember from my last video, I said charges are essentially dropping monthly on Johnny, and that's still true. Because there's now a new crime that Johnny's being investigated for in South Korea, and that is the child harassment under the Korean Child Welfare Act. Specifically, authorities reopened investigations into interactions where Johnny and Hank allegedly engaged in inappropriate conversations with minors on sites like Ome TV. There's reported evidence that both Johnny and Hank knowingly spoke with individuals they identified as minors during these streams, and the conversations were reportedly of an inappropriate nature. This is
Why can't people just not talk to kids? Is it really that hard?
Serious because under South Korean law,
isn't that like, it's just so hard not to do that, huh?
Charge carries a maximum penalty of 10 years in prison.
Here is the submission right here against Ramzi Khalid Ismail. You see his name here, Ramaji Khalid Ismail, right, in Korean. You can see over here, once again, another one of the cover sheets showing his date of birth, as well as the location in Seoul. And you see both of these documents here together, confirming they were submitted.
Now, before we go any further, let's clear up something that always pops up.
I can't believe he's 25, man. I feel like he acts like he's fucking 8.
Comments. People say, isn't Johnny already in jail? What's the big deal here? Jail is short term. It's where you go before trial or if you've done something small. Think a few weeks, maybe up to a couple of years. That's about it. And that is if it even goes over a year, because normally if it does, it would be because, you know, the time waiting for the trial and then, you know, after the sentencing. But prison is where you end up after conviction. That's long term. That's the real deal. In South Korea, they don't like to hold people in jail pre-trial unless you're dangerous or violent. And he's not a violent offender. He's just an obnoxious clown with a camera and a bad attitude. So essentially they just let him roam, rack up more charges, and give the South Korean government all the more evidence they could ever need. Because
I hope nobody actually gets hurt. The worst part is that it's a nuisance, man, and nobody's fucking doing anything about it.
Meanwhile, he's burning through his money, isolating himself, and making their job extremely easy. Just because Johnny hasn't been sitting in a cell this whole time doesn't mean the police are clueless over there. It is definitely not because the courts are soft, it's because South Korea's legal system is playing the long game. Locking him up pre-trial, that costs taxpayer money. They'd rather let Johnny just pay for his own ramen, his own water, his own booze, and his own miserable existence. Or well, honestly, at this point, it's probably Hank that's paying for all that. And this is all while they build a rock-solid case against him. So they're letting him self-destruct on his own dime, and honestly, it's working like a charm.
I have sacrificed my finances, you know, like I've actually, like, Johnny ran out of money.
Hank is done. He's broke. The money's dried up. He's been begging for cash online, complaining about being kicked out of his gym, cut off by businesses, and rejected by companies who don't want to be anywhere near this disaster.
Then why does he keep doing it? I'm telling you, Chad, it's a bromance. They are getting in on it.
And now he's scared. Scared that
Yeah, it's
Fallout is
true
going to hit him.
love.
Scared that supporting Johnny has destroyed whatever reputation and stability he had left. All while prosecutors keep stacking charges. And Johnny, instead of, laying low, he's doubling down. He's made more deepfakes. He's threatened
You
judges.
can't help who you love. W boyfriend. I hope love like this finds one of my chatters one day. They get to live off of someone else's fucking money, and they get loved on no matter what, even if they're a piece of shit. Even though my smugglers would never be a piece of shit, but yeah.
He showed up late and
Yeah,
drunk
it's
to court.
peak.
I don't know how stupid you could possibly be, but this guy just keeps impressing me. If you tried to write a fictional character that self-destructed more than Johnny, that would actually be a challenge. And also, just to add on the self-destructive behavior, it's been confirmed that Johnny has been using fake accounts and posing as multiple people on different platforms, like Discord, to discredit creators who are covering him, yours truly included.
Johnny has fake accounts as multiple people. Obviously, there's fake profiles of me, there's fake profiles of Atozi, other people. Now, some of you have seen this and some of you have not seen this. But remember, what's important is that we have confirmed that every single thing has been received by the sole prosecutor's office.
And I guess these accounts are basically just trying to derail ongoing investigations by
Stinky.
clouding the digital trail. But clearly, it's not working. Legal Mindset confirmed that every single piece of footage has now been officially submitted and accepted by Seoul's prosecutor's office as evidence, including older clips from the US. And at this point, prosecutors in South Korea are moving forward. The case is at a step 2 in their process. The investigation is underway, evidence has been collected, and they're now determining if it's strong enough to hold up in court. That doesn't just include Johnny's offenses in South Korea, it also pulls from his documented behavior across the US and Europe. Meanwhile, more disturbing
I
footage.
think the most promising thing is that in Korea, very likely, unlike in America and a lot of Western courts, you can't buy yourself freedom with money. They want to fuck you as hard as they can, all at once.
Has resurfaced, including remarks made by both Johnny and Hank towards people in France, Mexico, and Korea. And in another major legal escalation, a victim has now filed a formal petition for severe punishment against Johnny, which could lead to an aggravated sentencing range if the court accepts it. Because according to Korean law, these petitions have to show a clear harm to the victim, attempts at reconciliation that didn't work, and a lack of remorse. Well, that's not hard to prove.
And even to this day, he is still insulting.
No lolly mindset, and then he quote retweeted it on his main account and said no statue is safe. Can we reenact this, but Johnny is this and then the guard is here? Like one of the guards? Yeah, just do a little reenactment, see how it feels.
South Korean people. No statue is safe. So he clearly doesn't care and has no remorse.
Yeah, it's safe to say Johnny's own behavior continues to work against him. He, again, is his own star witness against himself. He is his own worst enemy. And if this petition goes through, Johnny could be looking at a minimum of 2 years.
And by the way, not to get it twisted, I've met a lot of South Koreans. They are patriotic and nationalistic. If they find out he's in the same cell block as, like, a bunch of people that, you know, they're just the average Korean male, I think he's gonna be in for a rude awakening. Yeah.
For obstruction and up to 7 years for the deepfake charges. And of course,
Yeah,
it
this ain't
doesn't stop
America,
there.
you
There's
know?
been 4 previously unseen videos dropping showing him harassing workers and tourists at Seoul's North Tower. And these were filmed before he went viral for getting punched. And they show him blasting music, shouting about having HIV, and filming without permission. Then
In California, you can get, like, actual prison time for that, can't you? I'm pretty sure. Or was it another state? I can't remember, actually. Yeah, if you shout you have HIV or you have some sort of disease, you can get into serious trouble for that, even if you don't have it. Not in California. Oh, wait, no, they changed the law so that you don't get into prison. But there's a lot of states where you can get into serious trouble for that. Yeah. Never mind, you got overturned, yeah.
finally accusing tourists of racism when asked to leave.
Morocco, I'm from Somalia, and I have Asia. Yeah, I love Korean women. What the fuck? They have it like an actual... This is a video? This is on stream?
What is what? What is what? It's a phone. What? Why not? I see many people do YouTube here. I can't do YouTube here. Many people do YouTube here. It's in my face. Relax. Relax, bitch.
Honestly, it's just
Relax, bitch.
crazy how he allows someone to donate $2 to have a chance of ruining his life. It's actually impressive how self-destructive he is, but he deserves everything coming his way because this is what he does for content.
Why are you shaking your hand? You racist? You don't like black people?
No, I don't want to be.
What country are you from?
You don't need to care.
You better back up. What's up?
Oh.
You want to touch me?
Oh.
You want to touch me? You want to go?
Oh.
You're gonna
Is
get...
that a child too? Is she carrying a child?
I don't want to be.
What country are you from?
Or is it a bag? I can't tell.
You don't need to care.
Either way, it's fucked up.
You better back up.
This is so
What's up?
cringe.
Oh.
You want to touch me?
Oh.
You want to touch me? You want to go?
Oh.
You're
I
gonna
think
get...
it's a bag.
You better
Yeah, I
watch
think
your
it is a
little ass
bag.
up. You better watch out.
No, I just thought it was the top of a baby's head.
Bro.
Oh.
You better
Oh, I
watch
think
out.
you're
I'm
right.
from
I think it's a
America.
bag. Oh
You
yeah, it
better
is a
watch
bag.
out.
I mean, the dude is just
It's just like, what are you doing, man? Like, what is wrong with you?
pathetic excuse of a human being. Thankfully, the dude he was harassing is winning in the end because Johnny is currently being wombo comboed by the Korean system.
Damn, I swear to God, Europeans, they hate Americans, bro. Oh, it's French. Oh, now it makes sense. Nobody likes French people, bro. I don't like them either.
Yeah, I mean, it's just sad at this point. And these could easily add to his obstruction charges or lead to a 9th charge under South Korea's child welfare or
No,
public
they just
disturbance
hate you.
laws. And on top of that, Johnny's platforms are disappearing.
Maybe this is how America and Europe like unite against one evil force called Johnny Somali. Like, I don't know, man.
Left and right. I mentioned that he was banned on Kick in my last video, but it now seems like YouTube is removing his streams as well.
But there is one live stream that's missing, and that is the live stream where he just came back from court and he decided to go live with Hank. They reviewed the court video, they gave a couple updates, even though he lied about quite a bit. Anytime Hank is in a video, there will be hate speech. So that was the video that was taken down. Now you might ask yourself, how do I know that it was taken down for hate speech? If you go on his channel, it says the video has been removed for violating YouTube's policy on hate speech.
Money is flying out the window faster and faster here, and it looks like 10 years could get thrown at John.
YouTube is so inconsistent, man. I got a video age restricted about car crashes that's up on YouTube, and it didn't get age restricted, but mine got for some reason, and they wouldn't even provide me with like a timestamp. But Johnny Somali gets to keep his channel, even though he's a piece of shit, and breaks literal laws in countries that he streams in. I don't get it, man. No, actually I do get it. Never mind, I'm coping. It's just corpo borpo shit.
And even Hank here if the authorities find what they're looking for. And I mean, let's be real, we know there's enough of a digital footprint online to give them the stuff to find. It's pretty much inevitable at this point that he's going to do some time. Like, this is not ending with some slap on the wrist. And every time he opens his mouth, every time he makes another deepfake or threatens a judge or shows up to court late or drunk or however he decides to show up, he's really not helping himself at all. So just as a recap, because I know there's going to be so many charges at this point that it's hard to keep track of, Johnny is charged with obstruction of business. That's count 1. He pled guilty to that. You have a violation of Minor Crimes Act, which is essentially a misdemeanor. He pled guilty to that. And then you have another violation of Minor Crimes Act, which he pled guilty to that as well. You have an obstruction of business charge, which he pled guilty to as well. And then you have a deepfake violation. He pled not guilty to that. Then you have another deepfake violation, which he also pled not guilty. Then you have another obstruction of business charge, which he also pled not guilty to for some reason. And now we have the violation of the Child Welfare Act, as that investigation is currently in progress. So here we are. Things are not looking good for him. And Hank is
anything involving children, you're gonna have a hard time shaking that one off in prison.
a cautionary tale. He backed the
Even if
wrong
you don't
guy.
get
Now he's
convicted.
broke, scared, and trying to figure out where to climb out of this wreckage, because this is just an absolute nightmare for this guy. And this is all while Johnny has another trial date coming up in August. So hey, if you guys want me to go out to South Korea again, drop a like on this video. If we get to the ballpark of like 75,000 likes on this video, I'll fly out again. And also, I haven't mentioned this in a while.
He's gonna fly out anyway. Don't listen to him. He's farming content.
We've dropped a bunch of new collections over at matt.city, including Soul. So if you ever wanted a
Aw, that's
nostalgic toy
cute.
car mat or mouse mat that's like massive that covers your whole desk, this is the LA one though. You can feel free to check out my company matt.city in the description down below, as that's another great way to support the channel. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh my god, dude. Johnny Sasali. Wait, that's actually so much better. Chat, we don't have to call him Johnny Salami anymore. In Russian, Sasali is like to suck dick, and it kind of sounds like Somali. So we can call him Johnny Sasali. So it sounds like Johnny sucks dicks. Yeah, it's like go check out Dozy. He's cool. And his editor came and visited our stream one time. That was cool.